When I was 17, I went to one of these jazz camps. There's a summer, there's all over the world, they have these summer jazz camps. And I went and I had an experience. I don't need to tell the whole story here, but let's just say I played with a couple famous people and I had an experience, like an out-of-body experience with this event. And I'd never experienced anything like that in my life. And I, after I finished an hour later, and I woke up out of this trance and I said, whatever that was, and I don't know what it was, I'm going to do that for the rest of my life. Okay. I want to do that again and again and again. Since I was a kid, I was always interested in the world, places, pictures, photographs, people, how different they were, the kind of clothes they wore. I was always fascinated by this. And I was lucky that in New York, one of the first musicians I met, and still is my best friend, is a Japanese drummer. And it kind of got me really excited because then he brought me to Japan. And then I've been to Japan over 50 times now, playing on tours. And it really kind of opened up my world more and more and more into the Asian thinking and the Asian culture and everything to do with Asia. Okay. And so one of his friends introduced me to, who was also Japanese but also interested in a lot of other Asian things, and she introduced me to the I Ching. Now, the I Ching, and this is the English way of saying it, maybe there's a different way that they say it, but in English we say the I Ching. And it is a type of fortune-telling, I guess you would say, in a way. It's kind of a fortune-telling, but it's also a way of helping you to think about what you should do in your future, more than what's going to really happen. Okay. It tries to get you to think and evaluate yourself. Okay. And they do this in the original way with what was called yarrow sticks. Like pick up sticks, you drop the sticks and they fall a certain way, and then you read from what that says. Then you number, count things. And out of this, they simplified it to use 3 coins. And you shake these 3 coins 6 times. And from this, from the bottom up, you build solid lines and broken lines. Okay. And each of these things make symbols. 2 symbols on top of, 1 symbol on top of another. Okay, and each one is 3 of these shakes of the coins. Yes. And so there are 8 different kinds of symbols. And then 8 possibility here, 8 possibility there, gives you 64 total possibilities of what you can shake. Right. So my idea, because there was 2 against 2, and I've been playing kind of free music with Alfred for a while now, and we've done an album already before, and this will be our second one. And I thought it would be interesting that we would roll the I Ching coins, and then from that, he would be one character, and I would be one character of what we roll. Okay. And there, of these 8, there's for example, there's heaven, there's earth, there's sky, there's water. So it could be, earth over mountain. Okay. Alfred's going to be deep water. And deep water is flowing, it's formless, it's very dark, unconscious, it's the unconscious itself. Fluid, full of emotion, intuition, but it's also dangerous and haunting, kind of on the unknown. And it's often solitude, by yourself, self-reliant, courageous. And I am going to be, what did I say? Mountain, right? I am the mountain, which has limit, still where you must stop, end of the cycle. Defining the space, the center of things, independent, knowing, retreat for perspective. So in a way, you can think of it as what character we get is our score, in a way, a musical score, inspiring us to do certain directions.
the piano has its sound itself. Of course, Peter is doing a lot of creative stuff with inside the piano and also with his percussions and all that, but the piano is a sound. And I also wanted to have a drum kit, which is a sound entity, if you want so.
Piano has always been classified as a percussion instrument. If you look in a book about, musical instruments, they put the piano as a percussion instrument often, most of the time. So for me, it was only natural, because I love percussion around the world, kind of percussion. I collect percussion. It was only natural for me to be interested in the piano as a percussion instrument, as well as these gongs and singing bowls and Tibetan singing bowls and all kinds of other things from Africa and from toys, as you said. To add it into my repertoire, and I've been doing that for many, many years. I've always loved percussion. It's always been a fascination. The idea of sound is a fascination for me. Piano has a certain texture, quality when you play the piano versus all these other things. You have one main texture and a few other smaller textures. What I have done is added all kinds of other textures that I really like very much, as well as, if you listen to the recordings or see me play, I often also play the inside of the piano. Music should be open. Music should not be narrow-minded. There's no such thing as, well, that music over there is crazy music, so that must be bad music, or things like this, or that's country music, so I don't like that. I don't think like that. I think, man, there's great music all around us. I don't care what you call it and where it comes from. It's fascinating to me. How did it get to, why does it sound, why does country music sound that way versus jazz that way, or African music that way, or Brazilian music that way? Why? That question, why, has always fascinated me, and that has kept me, I think, very wide open to explore, to search, and to add more and more sounds, colors, rhythms, and all kinds of things into my music.